You all should get that little message that says recording. All right, good morning. Let me rearrange things so I can see both you and the agenda. Okay, April and Deanne and Gina are on their way to Rock Springs in Junction City to go to the Apple training. So wish them safe journeys. Looking at the agenda, I've got some executive board meeting notes that I wanted to share with you. April has some things about Niche Academy that she wanted me to share. We have a couple of continuing education events coming up, and I want to give Brenda time to talk a little bit about the participation agreements and postage. We went over some of this at the Seek and Find Users group meeting, but not all of you in Seek and Find, so bears repeating. To start with, okay, so we get people. I'm going to go over some of the things that the board decided at our last executive meeting. The programming grant guidelines have been updated. The performers showcase, the summer reading performers series, has been replaced with more money. So the board decided to go with a division based on your service level. So linking and gateway libraries are now going to qualify for a grant up to $450 for a performer. And we think we increased that cost, or we increased that grant amount, because we realized that to get a good performer in, it's not $250. It's usually a lot more than that. So we want to make it so that for those libraries with the smallest budgets, you can use this grant to actually bring in a performer. For libraries that are service center level or 1, that's going to be $300. So an increase of $50. And that for the larger libraries, y'all tend to have a friends group or just more money in your budget. So that's the thought process behind that. The division of the pot of money between the first half of the year and the second half of the year that has always been there is maintained. The funds can be used for speaker fees, advertising, supplies needed for the program, refreshments, if you have to rent a room at the Kiwanis or the Lions Club or the VFW hall down the street, that can be included as well. These are first come, first serve, and if you need to use, or if you have a really good justification for asking for the same performer 2 years in a row, work with Amy or April on that, and we can see about getting you a waiver. So from that agenda that I shared with everybody, you can get a link to the updated programming grant, and I think Jake might have already put that on the website, but if not, I'll double check. All right, any questions about that? We're throwing money at you. Cool. And a reminder to know, if you are able to work with other libraries in your area, you can probably negotiate with a performer to get a reduced cost. Sometimes they'll do that, sometimes they won't, but you're encouraged to ask. You never know. So the next big thing is the materials grant and allocation for 2024. The cost of the courier went up again. Surprise, surprise. They have included a contingency for fuel charges that they did not have last year or the year before, and that really put them in a bind. So they have budgeted Haley through the Henry Industries. The committee agreed to go with the 8% increase in cost overall. The board, I gave them multiple options, and the board went with option 1, which is for SEKLS to increase the amount of the materials grant and keep the fees that the libraries pay at the 2023 amounts, so $300 and $600. Because the materials delivery grant is going to be going up, allocation is going to stay the same. So the base for allocation will stay the same. Again, we're only 3 months into the year. You still have time to do a CE implementation project with April and or Tammy if it's for a children's event. And that gets you an extra 5% in your allocation beyond base. There are only 2 or 3 libraries that are hitting the full 95%. So there is room for all of you to get more money through allocation just with the allocation beyond base program. So talk to us about how you can maximize the money that you're getting from your allocation grant. And thank you to the board for understanding that all of those expenses can't just immediately be pushed onto you. So we think that the courier is not just important, but vitally important for what we do. Can't work without it. Seek and Find doesn't work without it. Just being part of the library system statewide doesn't work without it. So in August, we'll come open the next competitive grant. That's going to be the Facilities Improvement and Furnishings Grant. A few changes have been made to that as well. We are going to allow furniture outside. So in the past, there was a line in there about landscaping wasn't covered, and landscaping still isn't covered. You're not planting things with this grant, but if you have missed out on the ARPA money and didn't get a solar powered charging bench or just a bench to have outside the front of the library, you can now use this Facilities Improvement and Furnishings grant for that. If you do not own the land that the building's on, we ask that you work with the person who does own it, do a real quick memorandum of understanding so that there's no confusion over who owns that furniture and if you get to move, or you can take it with you. So that is spelled out, and we will if you're not going to be getting one of these grants, if you're not going to reach out to us or apply, and you want to be on the review committee, let me know. Finally, the system directors, so there's the 7 of us, plus the state librarian are going to be meeting in a committee to discuss funding and governance of the systems and the state library. So that is we have to be kind of vague about it, but we will all be meeting, and we're talking about some potential changes or recommendations to make sure that funding for the system is sustainable and secure now and in the future. Any questions? Okay. April wanted me to let you know that in Niche Academy, there are 14 new tutorials that have been added, and she's reviewing more to add. If you need help getting into your Niche Academy account, or you want to request an account for someone on staff, reach out to April, and she can give you more information about that. Yes, Andrea Soba from Garnett. You're muted. No, you're not muted, but we're not hearing
muted. You. Okay, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. How much is the Facility Improvements and Furnishings grant? How much is that? Do you know? Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I can find out. I think it's several thousand, but let me find out for sure. Luckily, everything is in Google now. So. Helps if I go to the right line. Oh, we also included new signage. Up to 75% of the project cost, up to a maximum of $5,000 may be requested. Right. And so up to 8 grants may be awarded. The remainder has to come from local matching funds, which can include library or institution budget donations or other sources. In-kind donations of materials or new furnishings may be used for matching funds. as well as donated labor from contractors who would otherwise be paid, such as plumbers, carpenters, roofers, etc. Matching funds must be in hand or committed at the time of application. So reach out to your folks before you make this application to say, yes, they're willing to either donate their time or give you a cost estimate of what that time, what the value of that time will be. Yes, Andrew. Did you have another question? Okay, your hand's still good. There you go. Okay. Okay. There we go, back here. Reggie from Mount City.
Yes, thank you. So the matching funds, could that also come from like our capital, our own funds, if we don't have someone that would donate?
Yeah, if you have a capital improvement fund, that this qualifies.
Okay, thank you.
And for continuing education, we have a seed library interest group coming up April 6th. That's 0.5 of CE credit with our good friend Julie at Erie. We've had a couple of people who didn't do a seed library last year, but they're interested in starting one this year. So join us on Zoom April 6th at 1 o'clock. We haven't had a budget workshop since 2021, well, December of 2021. So we have one scheduled for April 26th, and it's going to be at 10 a.m. on Zoom with me. On the agenda that I shared out, I have a link to the webinar from the last one, plus the slides. That one was an hour and a half. The Apple training on budgeting that's done with Laura DeBon is 2 hours. I'm going to try to get this down to 1 hour, but I would like to take advantage of Niche Academy and have deeper dive webinars that you can get to that talk about financial reports and just maybe highlight it in the budget and finance workshop, and then give you the tools to go dig deeper on your own time. Okay, so it can be we're going to discuss the basics of developing a budget, and then all the stuff that Roger talked about. So your board budget authority, revenue sources, cash flow, what are the steps in the timeline in the budgeting process, and I call it mill math. So understanding mill levies and the tax rate. And I want to thank Sharon at Grace Memorial, because a lot of the discussions that I had with her and her treasurer last week, I wrote that down to incorporate into this training. Thank you for that. And then last but not least from me, and I'll open this up to the rest of the staff to talk about their individual trainings. We have Advocacy 101 with Logan. Logan works at Thrive Allen County. He is their policy and initiatives coordinator. He's basically a lobbyist. He's a paid lobbyist for Thrive, and he works on early literacy across the state. What, Tammy, what's the name of it? Is it Kansas First? It's the Thrive Kansas. Anyway, it's an early literacy thing. So we're going to do this twice. He's going to do an in-person workshop here at Iola, I think at 1 in the afternoon, and then we will repeat it on Zoom that evening. And so this has been shared out with all the directors plus board members. So I've been hoping to have some sort of an advocacy, political savvy, talking to your legislators training for a while now, and I hope we all enjoy this and learn a lot from it. Logan's a fun guy. He helps us a lot here. Tammy said, Kansas advocate for equality. I can't read it.
Kansas Advocates for Equity, Education, and Health.
Perfect.
Is what it is.
Okay. The finance training, the budget training is on the 26th, April 26th at 10 a.m. And hope if you did not get the flyer from Erin, let us know. She sent out a couple of flyers this week. So they all just say flyer.pdf, I think. So let us know if it's been crickets from us. Jason already had his big training. Are there other trainings that staff want to talk about?
I have a couple of things, that's okay. So the first thing is, if you're looking for performers, I want to share a couple of links with you. The first one is the statewide performers directory. This is maintained by all of the systems. It's housed at NEK. And whenever a performer sends me an email that says, send this out to your people, I'm doing something this summer, I always first tell them, please make sure that you are in this directory and that your contact, if you are already there, that your contact information is accurate and has been updated. So I just dropped the link in the chat. That's for the Kansas Statewide Performers Directory. And it is divided into authors and illustrators, educational programs, musician, and then performers tour. So, or performing arts, sorry. So you will have to dig a little bit to find what you're looking for. I also want to say that Robin at South Central and I are working on a proposal that will bring the performers tour or performers showcase back to KLA. So what this would be for next summer, but the performers would come to KLA, the ones that are interested, and perform a little bit. So you get like a preview of what their act is like, and then stay around so that you can book them right there at KLA. And so I think it will be great. I used to attend these when I was in Missouri. I would book my whole summer right there at the conference and not have to worry about it. So if you are looking for someone and you haven't been to KLA in a while, I know that we offer continuing education grants. And so that could be an impetus for you, another reason for you to want to go to KLA. So if you want more information on that, just watch and we'll try to share it as it becomes available. But that's something that we're anticipating, and that will be in October. Then I also have been tasked with putting together a local performers directory. So these are mostly people that will come out and talk for free. This is just the start of a list based on conversations I've had with Sharon and some of the rest of you. This is editable. You can add to this. This is not comprehensive. It's not even really long yet. But I wanted you to have this. These are some thoughts, and please add to this list, because then we're sharing information among libraries, and that will absolutely help each other, and we'll have better programming across our system. So, you know, don't keep it a secret, whatever it is whoever it is that you have coming out. If you have someone you want to recommend, put them on the list and share it with everyone else. Do we have any questions on any of that?
Should I include Roger? He's done 2 programs for us at Iola. He's done travel logs.
Put him on there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes. And Roger should perhaps think about putting himself in the statewide performers directory if he's willing to travel outside of the system.
Thank you. So I've added those to the agenda, forum agenda document thing that I sent out to.
Thank you. I had one more thing I wanted to mention, then I'll pass it off. We're going to have Reader Zone training April 21st. So Jake from Reader Zone, not our Jake Benham, but the other Jake, will be presenting April 21st at 10 a.m. and registration for that will open this Friday. And yes, always virtual with Reader Zone.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. The other big upcoming, I'm trying to see if I have any of our academics. There's an academic in service that April's working on June 2nd for the annual meeting. So let your board know that that's when we're gonna have our annual meeting. It's gonna be divided up. I think we talked about this last week. The morning, we're gonna have keynote, and then we'll have the annual meeting, and then a nice long lunch to network. And then the fun afternoon with gadgets and stations and seeing all the things that are in the tech toy box and talking about maker spaces and what that can mean, everything from, drones and robots to sewing machines and, community weaving projects that some of our libraries do. Making has many, many definitions. Yeah. And we're excited for that. Am I missing anything?
I just want to put a little reminder out there that all the training that we're mentioning, including registrations when they become available or are available on the calendar page, and I dropped the link in the chat.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, thank you. That's it for me. The only thing I have on the agenda is the participation agreements, postage, and reminding everybody that we're agreeing by signing those various participation agreements, including for the courier and statewide ILL, to share our materials with both courier and non-courier libraries. And that's part of the reason why in the materials delivery grant, Part A is all about postage and receiving up to $2 per package of reimbursement for that postage. And if that reimbursement amount goes up depending on the volume. Most of you do a small amount, so it's we're reimbursing you up to $2 per package that you send by U.S. mail. And where did Brenda have those picnic participation agreements? Did those go out, or do people have them now?
You mean the ones that we talked about, the people that needed them on Friday? I have not done that yet,
Okay.
but I will get those out. The original email went out from Nikki a while back. So do you want me to talk more about that right now?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Old timers will probably remember signing a KickNet participation agreement. We used to sign it every 2 years. It's kind of fallen by the wayside after Rhonda left. I haven't signed one. We haven't signed one here for a while. Also, the governance that was set up, there was nothing there. There was no teeth to. We had this agreement with no teeth to it. So through Nikki doing some work and research, that is going to get shifted under the governance of the State Library Board with a task force, a KILT, KILT, because we like acronyms, task force. I will be on that, as will somebody from all the systems plus Nikki. But the new membership agreements have gone out, and if you didn't get it, I'll get that link out to you. The important thing about that is to read it before you sign it and make sure you understand what you're agreeing to. The biggest deal is, as Sharon mentioned, mailing to libraries that are not on the courier. It's very easy to not want to do that because it's more convenient just to use the courier, and we pay for the courier. And if you remember, it's set up so that courier libraries go to courier libraries, but there are not as many libraries that are just on use the mail. So you're going to get some of those requests, and if you do, it's because they don't have any other option. So share your stuff. We, as Sharon said, we give you money back to help with that. I know it's not as convenient, but that has become an issue statewide that got brought to Nikki's attention, that there's some libraries that feel like they're not getting cooperation with our other libraries, therefore their patrons don't have access to things. And we're all about access. We want everyone to have access. The other little important part in this membership agreement is it says that it's a privilege, not a right. So you need to participate. The state pumps money into the Kansas Library Catalog, they pump money into the courier. So by being a part of those things, they want you to loan things back. If you never, I tell people, and Rhonda used to say this, if you never request anything for your patrons, that's on you, and your patrons are suffering, but they want to see how much you share. So share away. And if there's anything I'm saying you don't understand, contact me. I didn't say anything earlier. I am planning to have a meeting in May, mid-May, for sharing with all the interlibrary loan people. If you're a one-person library, that's you. If you have someone dedicated to interlibrary loan, try to make sure that you can send them. It'll be here at the office. The other thing about the membership agreement, there are two places for signage. There's one that says ILL loan officer, and there's one that says the person you report to. If you're a one-person library, that's you. Sign in both spots. You don't have to get board signature on it. Is there anything I forgot, Sharon?
Oh, the only thing, I shared this at the users group meeting on Friday, is that while, we heavily underwrite that, some of the systems don't underwrite it at all. So there really are parts of the state where we might assume everybody's on courier, they're not.
Yeah,
So,
that is very true.
we're fortunate that that's how the board has decided to divvy up some of the funds that we provide for you, and that's with the materials delivery grant.
Yes, we are very fortunate, because as much as you may feel like that's a lot of money, if Jason provided this at the users group, if you compare it to postage, it's a tremendous savings. I know we bitch and moan and gripe about the courier, but for everything that we say about the courier, we could double that up on the mail service sometimes. So as Sharon said earlier, interlibrary loan does not work well if you don't have a reliable method of getting that, whatever it is, in the other person's hands. So just share your stuff. And if you're having issues with that in any form, contact me and we'll work through it.
Okay. So staff round robin, Brenda, do you have anything else? Or did that pretty much cover it for you?
No, I think that's it. We did mention at users group, but I know some of you aren't here. There was also communication about changes in hubs for some of our SEK libraries. Specifically, Cedarville, Sedan, and Caney have been moved to the Wichita hub, ICT. So if you have any labels that still say PAR on them for Parsons, get rid of those and get the new ones. And while you're doing it, make sure the SEK's label for Iola SEK says PAR, not EMP, because there's still some of those floating out there. What happens, I think, is that you keep up with them and you print new ones, but then when things come in, if they happen to be old, you don't necessarily realize that that's the old one, and that it slows stuff down if it goes to the wrong hub. I think that's it.
All right, thank you. Tammy, did you have anything else for the good and welfare? Okay. Jason? No, I mean, you just had to.
Yeah, y'all have heard enough from me lately. I did get the recordings and notes and stuff posted and sent out yesterday. So if there's anything I'm missing there from the users group on Friday, let me know. And of course, send me emails, call me if you have questions.
Kim?
Nope, just a reminder, if you have a cataloging backlog and you don't have time to get to it, send it to us. We can get it cataloged and put back on the courier to you. Also consider inventory. That way, keep track of stuff that's lost or things you think you might have on your shelf, but inventory helps cover all that. But like I said, send us your cataloging. We'll be happy to take care of it, and barcodes. So we have a few barcodes that we've kept from the retros, but just send them on.
First you can find. Okay. Cindy? Do you have anything you want to share? Yeah.
Well, there's not too much except for the fact that I started looking through the special needs list on when you go to it and see how easy it is to get from an item to searching the catalog in Koha, and I'm finding that there are some discrepancies and difficulties. And so my plan is to work on that, because if you were to type in what is listed, you don't get to what you think you're going to. So anyway, just know that if you have some difficulties there, to contact me and I'd be happy to help you. As we're coming up to summer reading program, there are a lot of things that you could utilize, and I plan to put an article in the next newsletter. I don't know that I will be able to go through the entire list to get it updated so that it's easier to find, but just know that I'm available and I'll get back to you within 24 hours. And that's about it.
You're also available for continuing education and for programs in your community.
Yes, and also I'm helping, Moline has some Tri-Valley citizens that are special needs, and I'm helping them come up with some programming ideas. So those kind of things are fun for me. I enjoy that. So if you have anything you need, just contact me. And yes, I am happy to do a talking books program for civic groups or the whole shebang about everything for anyone who needs it. So yeah, keep in touch.
I put in the chat a link to professional collection and kits. And no, regardless of if you're in Seek and Find, our professional collection, our kits, the early literacy kits, the special needs kits are available for our member libraries to utilize. So Jason has created these displays on this particular page of our website. It's under resource sharing that give you, they're visual. I'm a very visual person. So you have pretty pictures of all the different stuff. We do have some things that are pickup only, like the cover one kit, the button makers, the light tables. But please look through these. And I know that our children's librarian at Iola uses the early literacy kits a lot, but that's mainly because it's convenient for us. But those are available for anybody. And Tammy has been adding to them. Yes, we've been adding to them. I think the newest thing is the big flannel board and flannel kits.
Yeah, I have some storytelling kits that are flannel, and we ordered two flannel boards, a small one and a larger one. And we ordered some manipulatives to use with the light table, which is really cool. You guys, if you haven't used that, you really should check it out. So yeah, I hope that what we have there is really good and that you will use it. But if you have something else that you'd like to see added, send me an email.
Thank you. Jake and or Dave, you guys have anything for the good and welfare related to technology?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I don't think we really have anything that we need to talk about here. Dave's not here this morning. He ran to Cherryville, I think, to fix an issue. So.
Okay. Well, you all know they're here if you need them, and for me, no. What's the email again? Tech support at SEKLS.org.
Yes.
One-stop shopping. There you go. All right. Anybody that I forgot on staff? All right. Round robin time. What do we need to talk about today? Bueller? Anyone? Everything's going swimmingly. Everybody's grant projects are moving right along. Ordering's booked, summer reading's all planned, starting on our budget. Andrea.
Just a quick question, nothing real important, but I'm getting ready to interview, hopefully, for cataloging position. And so if anybody has like the ultimate question that I think is important to ask in an interview kind of question, either specifically for cataloging or just in general, besides, you know, if they bring this book up to the desk and they're 12 and they want to check it out, what are you going to do? That question. Shoot me an email today or tomorrow and, you know, let me know what it is. I don't ever feel real comfortable interviewing because I'm always like, I don't know. I just don't like to do it. So it's not my favorite chore. So I always am looking for advice as far as, I mean, I have some standard questions, but somebody has something out there, you know, like if you were a tree, what kind of a tree would you be? Even if they told me the answer to that, I wouldn't know what it meant. So
Please don't ask that question. I was immediately thinking, define intellectual freedom, or are you subscribed to the Anderson County Review? Which I'm sure Sharon would like say no, but yeah.
that is very tempting. The sad part is that I've had to advertise in the paper for this position because I mean, what else do you do? So I'm like, not really sure that, well, never mind. That's a whole nother discussion, but that's one of my questions. As far as if somebody has any advice on that, let me know.
I can share some. I do a mix of behavioral questions and scenario questions that we came up with at Huntington Valley. You know, the person that comes to the desk with a stack of books and the phone's ringing and, you know, what do you do first? How do you deal with the stress? Okay, so we'll get other people to share their favorite interview questions with you as well. I did want to say so Mary Meckley at Neodesha retired as of Friday. The new director there, her name is Tara Martin. She is a long time Neodesha local. She has a really interesting background that's taken her on a unique journey that includes hairdressing and being a mortician. So, but she's got deep roots to Neodesha. She seemed really excited. April and I got to go visit last week and brought Mary some flowers to wish her well. She's already on her way to Pennsylvania. So hopefully we will be able to get Kara to an event and everybody can meet her and wish her well. I'm forgetting something else. It will come back to me. All right. Anybody else good and welfare? Round robin questions?
Interestingly enough, a hairdresser and mortician background will be great for the social work part of the job. But she's already used to talking to people, listening to their problems.
We talked about that. Yeah, she's got she's not gonna have any problems with that. So it's just the ordering books, the things that are unique to libraries, dealing with the building. But if she had a building that was hers to manage. There's something else that came up. Hayes reopened at Parker. They got fans and sucked up all the water, and that issue is taken care of. April and I also went to visit Brenda at ARMA and saw they have had to remove all the drywall on one whole wall of the library. And when they did that, you can see the cinder block and the mortar that's just gone, gaping holes you can see outside from inside the library. And then on the outside, there's a layer of brick. So you couldn't see until they removed that interior wall just how bad the structure is, and the water just was coming right in. So send Brenda your good vibes. It's a mess in there. Reggie.
We're currently getting right now, I'm going to leave as soon as we're done with this, sidewalk put in so we can start putting musical instruments in for outdoors. We have 2, and then a partial fence just to block some of the not as pretty areas behind and around us. So That's happening this week. So fun stuff.
If you are developing outside areas, I have lots of information to share with you on that. It's like a passion project of mine. And so if you need ideas or help beyond musical instruments, let me know.
When we went to visit Columbus, she has an outdoor, it's just a piece of acrylic, but the kids can paint on it. And Lauren's son showed me just how fun that is. So it doesn't all, it can be music, but it can be music and. So that's great. I think ARPA showed sort of a proof of concept how impactful it can be to do stuff outside, to show vitality of the library, to give people a place to go and hang out, use the Wi-Fi after hours. We finally got our solar powered charging bench installed at Iola, so that's our newest. And we've seen people using it, folks on bikes plugged in, charging up their stuff. So, Andrea?
I'm jealous. I want musical instruments, by the way, so send us pictures. And does that count as a, let's see, what is our grant this year? Facility improvement and furnishings? Okay. You can't buy much for $5,000. So as far as musical instruments go. But what is going on with Longton? I see that they are still not, they're still on there that we're, they're not available, not open.
Yeah. Tammy, do you want to talk about that since you spoke with her in person?
I was there last week, I think it was last week. And Christina was there with 2 board members in their new building. Their old building was half museum, and the museum decided they were done being half and wanted the whole building. So they had to move. And so they moved across the street into a building they used to house, but was also housing the city offices. And it's tiny, a lot littler than where they were. And so there's been some internal struggle while the city figured out where they would go and got their building to a place where they could move in and be an office. But they have done that. And so they were painting last Saturday, and I anticipate them being open by the middle of April is what they said to us. So should be forthcoming very soon. They've been getting rotation books from us. So they've been doing some library services while they're closed as well. But yep, thanks for your grace and allowing them time with growing pains and switching and all that.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we're talking about the other shed. April and I are still doing visits. So we visited Cedarvale and Sedan. Oh, we got to see Sedan's new library building. They're going to be moving into the giant Morton building. That's like, 5 times as big as what they have now. So another person to send good vibes to is Kayla. Which brings up again the issue of do we need to have an architect on retainer like we have the Northeast Kansas Library System has Sabatini architects that are a outsourced consultant for the system. Something to think about the long range plan. Where else did we go? Oh, we saw Cherryvale and we visited the other show. So I think Tammy and April are going to be doing some visits next week when I'm on vacation. I'll be on vacation. Contact them. Where are you guys going, Tammy? You're still scheduling it.
We're going to do some visits down south, down in my area of the woods. So I've sent out Galena and Baxter and Chitopa. And I know I'm going to miss someone because I wasn't prepared to say where all we were going. Galena, Baxter, Columbus, Altamont, Oswego, and Chitopa.
Awesome. It's been fun to see everybody again and to visit libraries. So don't worry, Lynn County, we'll be up in your neck of the woods eventually. But, okay. Anything else? If not, it's 9:45. We had I'll let you go. Enjoy the nice weather. Maybe-
Oh, I was wondering if someone from Girard, I see Tamara on here. I don't know if anyone else is on here, wants to talk about the success of their Ag Day. They had a huge event and they do it annually. So Tamara, are you mic'd up where you can talk?
If you want me to.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, this was my first Ag Day. I had never seen it before. But we had about 655 kids show up. We had quite a few vendors, chickens and cows and horses and pony or donkeys show up for kids to see and learn about. And I don't know, I think it was really cool. Got over 20,000 steps in that day. It was a busy day.
Sorry, April, I see your name and Barb's name now. Tamara's was right in front of me, but do you guys have anything you want to add? I was there at the very, very end and got to hold a chicken for the first time. It was kind of fun, but watching or looking at all your pictures on social media has been awesome. So if you haven't looked at their Facebook page, go check it out. They have lots and lots of pictures. And what a great idea. And I didn't know that Ag Day was a national event, which is kind of cool as well. So if Barb and April don't have anything else to contribute, I guess that's what I had to say.
My mouse is being stupid. All right, thank you. Anything else? Thank you, everybody, for getting in your seek and find participation agreements. And reach out. Like I said, I'm here this week. I'll be off next week if you have questions, need support with anything. Thank you for your time, I guess. Let folks go. Hope you have a great week. And we will see you, what did I say, March or May? What it'll be May 2nd. Will be the next one. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Going to stop recording. End meeting. Oh, okay.